morning, everyone. Good morning, judges. I am Ashish from Asian Institute of Technology. I am representing Team Indhan. My partner in the enterprise, Mr. Pikendra, is on an exchange to Germany, so I will be answering all your questions and presenting. I give you a brief outline of the presentation. In the first section, we will be talking about the background, the target market, the competitive analysis, and about our strategy, how we go about doing the venture. In the second section, I put highlight on the financial of the business. Third, I'll talk about the social and environmental impacts of the business. The World Health Organization estimates that annually 1.5 million people die because of respiratory infections as a result of traditional fuel burning. In Nepal alone, 84% of the people use traditional fuel sources as energy for cooking. Most of the collection is done by women and children, denying them activities for leisure and education. This leads to damage to the environment and deforestation. This also hurts soil fertility and endangers food security in the long run. Hence, we acknowledge there is an urgent need for a sustainable green solution of energy. Indhan Private Limited hopes to fill this gap by providing biogas technology as a solution for rural households in eastern part of Nepal. We will be promoting and constructing 4 MQ plants. As the size of Nepalese household is shrinking because nuclear family structure is prevalent these days, we will be constructing 4 MQ plants. Similarly, if clients request us, we will be building larger scale plants. Going hand in hand, we will also be promoting bioslurry, the byproduct of the biogas. The bioslurry is a potent natural fertilizer and increases crop production. We are committed towards unparalleled service and high quality products. Our management team is composed of Mr. Dr. Viray Vamsarawat. He is an assistant professor at the Asian Institute of Technology. He has also worked in an international consulting firm. He is our advisor. Dr. Rupa Khetri is an expert on air pollution. He is our technical advisor. Mr. Pikendra Thapa, our executive director. He hails from one of the prominent families in the target market. He will be contributing 50% of the capital, and I will be looking after the financials of the company and will contribute the remaining capital. Now let me give you an overview of the biogas plant. Nepal being an agricultural country, more than 80% of the people are engaged in agriculture. Hence, availability of livestock is not a problem. Therefore, we feel that resources for biogas generation in Nepal are abundant. The process for biogas generation begins when animal manure and water are mixed here and mixed manually by a fan. The substance gets into via an inlet. The gas is generated through a microorganismic activity in the digester pit. The gas gets collected in the dome and it can be regulated as and when required. When pressure from additional gas from outside exerts inside the digester, the spent bioslurry comes out. This slurry can be used as fertilizer. Similarly, the government of Nepal helps farmers who are looking for construction of biogas by providing them subsidies. There are also financing available up to 85%. Our target market is Sira and Saptari districts of Nepal. During the first 5 years of operation, we will be focusing on activities in these regions and then expand to other regions. Sira and Saptari lie about 300 kilometers from the capital, Kathmandu. The major attractiveness of this market is that the biogas support grant in Nepal has labeled them as low penetration district for biogas construction. Currently, less than 1% of the potential household which can construct biogas are using biogas technologies. Secondly, men from these households go abroad to work as laborers. They send back money as in form of remittance. It has been observed they send about $200 every month. So we feel that there is enough financial capability within the households to construct biogas. There is availability of cattle. As Tarai Plains being the agricultural produce of Nepal, there is abundance in capital. Similarly, the biggest river in Nepal, Koshi, lies in the region. Then we have no problem of cattle. We don't have any problem of water. Similarly, In Tarai, the infrastructure is better as compared to other places in Nepal, hence transportation cost is minimized. Our supplies lie in the nearby Moran district, hence our cost of transportation is minimized. Now we look at the competitor analysis. Currently there are 7 biogas companies operating in Sira and Saptari, but none of them have the main office in the region, hence we feel they lack the local marketing touch. Also, most of the biogas companies in Nepal are run by non-professionals. They do not have technical expertise and educational background. These companies have been ineffective in promoting the health benefits of using biogas and the benefits on environment and also reduction in fuel costs. They have also been ineffective in creating awareness about utilizing bioslurry, which can be used to increase agricultural productivity. The competing technologies for biogas are solar cooker and briquette. Solar cooker is unsustainable throughout the year. Almost 6 months it cannot be used, and it is also very expensive. Briquette, although being quite relatively cheap, it costs 20 rupees per unit. It is not widely available. Also, it poses storage costs. Now, what separates us from the rest? Why we will succeed in this business? First and foremost, we have the local knowledge, trust, and network. Mr. Vikendra Thapa, our Executive Director, hails from the region. Hence, we feel that we can use his knowledge of the target market to influence people, local community leaders, and reference groups to use biogas technology. This will influence other people to use it as well. His networking will also help us to push paperwork and to establish our office in government offices and push the paperwork to establish our office in the target market. We are a team of professionals from diverse backgrounds, hence we have the necessary human resources to be a successful team. Also, we are providing competitive pricing compared to our competitors. Initially, we plan to provide biogas plants at about $150, later expanded by 10%. Finally, we are providing 4 years of free service as compared to 3 that is locally prevalent. Our marketing strategy now. The main reason that people are not using biogas is that they are not aware of the benefits of the biogas as well as the bioslurry. Hence, we feel that it is important that biogas as well as the bioslurry needs to be promoted hand in hand. It is a tendency in villages that people follow activities of local leaders, community leaders, school teachers, and prominent personalities. We will ask these people to install biogas plants in their household first and then communicate its benefits to other people. We will also be hiring locals to do door-to-door marketing activities. As they are fluent in the local dialogues, they will be much more better in communicating and informing the local people. Similarly, the mass media we plan to use is radio, as most of the people are uneducated and cannot use print form of media, and also do not have television in their households. Hence, radio is the best form of communication. Now, we come to the second section of our presentation. This is our investment breakdown. We require $15,000 of capital. About 11,000 of it will be used for fixed assets, and remaining 4,000 will be used for the working capital requirements. Fixed assets include furniture and fixtures, computers, vehicles, and office equipment. Now, initial sales forecast. Initially, we plan to capture only a small portion of the market, about 0.25, as less than 1% of the potential market are using biogas plants. We feel this is a quite achievable target. Now the pricing strategy. The biogas support program in Nepal limits the amount price charged for the construction companies for biogas plants. For our 4 MQ plant size, the maximum price charge is $184. For the first 2 years, we will be charging $150. Our variable cost is $104, so we have a contribution margin of 30%. After that, we'll be increasing price by 10% to $165, but we will still be competitive against our competitors. Now, as our sales are less and the price is also quite low, during the first year we receive negative return on investment. As price increases as well as sales increase, our return on investment and profitability increases. We hope to achieve break-even at around 325 units, and also our payback period using discount rate of 15% is 3 years and 4 months. Now, I talk about the social impact. Biogas generates significant social and health benefits. First of all, when biogas is used, cooking becomes easier, faster, and healthier. The time saved for household is around 3 hours, so women and children can use this for productive activities. Similarly, there are significant health benefits. Biogas results in smokeless, ashless kitchen. The indoor air pollution is reduced as well. Hence, there is reduction in respiratory diseases, reduction in eye ailments. The third one is we hope to generate employment for local people for around 10 days at the site of biogas construction. Now the social impact, because that can be quantified. First and foremost, farmers save there is economic saving for farmers. There is reduction in fuel cost. Around 2,250 kgs of fuel wood is saved each year. Similarly, 32 liters of kerosene can be saved by using biogas. Then the bioslurry generates a quality fertilizer. Farmers can replace the chemical fertilizers by using bioslurry. On an average, NPK fertilizer can be reduced by 49 kg for a farmer. Similarly, biogas is a clean source of energy. Compared to the other unsustainable sources of energy, use of biogas leads to reduction in greenhouse emissions of about 49 tons. We have used the rate of $10, but it depends. The carbon rate, emission rate depends upon the bargaining power of the country. Now, based on our initial sales projection of 5 years and using the social discount rate of 19.77%, we come to find out that the benefit cost ratio is 3.53. This means that every single dollar invested in the business results to 3.53 benefits in terms of society and environment. The total blended value of the enterprise is 331,548. Now, combining our inputs and the activities we put into the business, we come out with 3 deliverables: gas for cooking, slurry as fertilizers, and dry manure that can be used for cooking purposes. Combine all these variables, we get the outcomes such as reduction in fuel cost, increased leisure time, reduction in greenhouse emission, increased agricultural production, and increased in health and sanitation of people in the rural areas. Our ultimate goal of human development is achieved. This results in achieving our ultimate goal of human development. For us, human development encompasses efficiency, social-economic progress, sustainability, education, and women empowerment. Finally, while concluding, I would like to say that unsustainable sources of energy lead to poverty. By introducing biogas plants in rural households of Nepal, we aim to reduce the dependency on unsustainable sources of energy. Our systems employ simple technology and are affordable to farmers. Hence, combining the socio-economic benefits, we aim to improve the livelihoods of people in Nepal. Thank you.
Okay, just as a quick overview, many of the judges will have questions, so we'll start there. Just want to do one question. Have you done a analysis from a family perspective? If you look at their whole portfolio of cost and investment, what the net present value to a particular family is? Since you had so many benefits of gas for cooking and slurry for fertilizer, and I'd like to understand how you use dry manure for cooking.
Combining the benefits that the families generate and also the cost in terms of interest they spend on and the installment we pay, we calculated that around 3 years they receive all of the investment back. The benefits is greater than cost around 3 years. We include the cost of interest, the installment payments we made, the initial setup cost. We around exactly, I'm not too sure, but it is around 3 years all the money is received back to the families.
And then just a quick question, are they going to pay that out of savings, or do they have to finance that 3 years?
The savings that generated from biogas is going to be enough to pay that amount. Agricultural yield that is going to increase, as well as the health benefits they don't have, the health costs they don't have to incur. This will be sufficient enough to generate.
And do they have $150 in their bank account?
Initially,
In general, is it there from the customer? Does the customer have accumulated savings to pay that upfront?
sorry, I couldn't hear your question. You said
Does the customer have the 150 US? Do they have that available, or will they need to finance it?
The government provides subsidy about $77, then up to 85% can be financed, subtracting the subsidy.
In your unit cost analyses, you exclude all material costs, cement, sand, bricks, saying that they would be bought and paid for by the end user. How much are those costs?
It comes around $27 to $28. In terms of electricity fees, it would be around 1,000 rupees. So they would have to, in addition to the initial cost, minus the subsidies, they need to pay that amount by themselves as well. It's around 27.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I hope that you're able to carry this out. And just first, a quick soundbite advice. It seems like $4,000 of working capital is very thin, and the cash that you have on your balance sheet at the end of the first year is $360, which just the recommendation would be to raise more than $15,000 if you're going to carry this out, and I hope you do, because that's cutting yourself very, very thin for unforeseen circumstances, which tend to happen at the start. So just a quick word, I'm sure the dollar goes a long ways in Nepal, and that's part of the low cost, but I wouldn't cut it that close.
Thank you.
The big question that I have has to do with your ramp up. 281 installations, I believe, in the first year, which is a very aggressive, especially considering what the volumes that established companies are doing. And then only a 56 installation increase in the second year. And so I guess from a ramp up point of view, I think I would have expected maybe half the installations in the first year and then an aggressive ramp up in the subsequent years seem to make sense. So can you explain how you can come out of the gates and do 281 in the first year and then just a little increment in the second?
We calculated the initial sales based on an average of the construction companies, what they are doing. On an average, the construction companies in Sierra and Soteri, they cover 3 districts, and on an average, each one is constructing about 60 to 70 in one particular district. So making a conservative estimate, we estimated that in the 2 districts, we would be constructing about 1 people. So, and as awareness increases, people get to know about biogas and its benefits, then more and more people start to install biogas.
Okay, thank you.
Ashish, thanks first of all for coming, and I remember seeing my first biogas plant on a trip to Tanzania, and you're absolutely amazed, so I'm sure you felt the same way the first time you saw yours. Really 2 questions here from kind of the entrepreneur perspective. The first one is just, have you built one? Have you actually built one yourself, a member of the team? And the second question is, the personnel overhead is pretty thin. Then I noticed you started paying dividends in year 3. Which are you planning to pay yourselves a salary to work on the business? And how much of the overhaul is that? And then why would you pay dividends so soon when there's still a lot to invest?
Yeah, currently we are in the initial stage. We have submitted a business plan to the Biogas Support Program in Nepal. The Biogas Support Program grants license each year around July. We have submitted our plans, we are satisfied with it, but the biogas support plans needs the Alternative Energy Promotion Center's approval to grant us license. That's for your first question. And secondly, we will not be paying salary for each of us. That's why the dividend amount is included since the 3rd year. So we'll just be looking at the overall operating activities of the business.
Will you be doing something else to make an income during that time, or what will you be doing?
Since I will be just looking after the financials, and the executive director hails from that region. He will be doing other works, but this will be our part of our plan. because in Nepal,
Can you tell us a little bit about the primary market research that you did? So, how many families and how many communities did you speak to? Was there anything you learned from that changed your initial assumptions, either from marketing or what the product looked like?
I talked to families that had biogas plants set up in Kathmandu. What I mainly found out was that they had many assumptions that were wrong about biogas plants. One of the families that I'm in contact with said that biogas plant cannot be generated when there is lack of sunlight. This is completely ridiculous. It has no sense at all. Similarly, people do not use biogas plants because they feel that there is mosquito breeding into the biogas plant when biogas plant is installed. So biogas plant, the mosquitoes come likewise in the Tarai region of Nepal and similarly in Kathmandu. So what we found, because talking to these families, was that they don't have full information about biogas, and they talk to their friends, people, and from there they get information.
Is that the only reason why families don't have biogas gas plants in their homes? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you said that there are other established companies already who are doing biogas, and yet the penetration is still very, very low. So basically, you're going to do something that they're already doing, but you're going to do it better. That's basically what you're saying, right? Yeah, so in that case, it's really just a matter of marketing, which is the reason why the penetration is very low. Because I'm trying to understand if there are already established companies there, and this seems like something that's affordable, the financing is there, the subsidies are there. Why isn't it as widespread in the areas where you want to be in?
Marketing, they lack marketing. The biogas construction awareness is not there in individuals. Similarly, people feel biogas does not generate direct income, and hence they are reluctant to install biogas plants. What they feel is that if they install biogas, they don't get direct money, but there is such benefits. There is reduction in health, reduction in cost for fuel as well. So this is the main problem why we are not installing biogas.
Have you done like a survey, for example, in these areas for every 50 families? Would you know how many, after you explain to them, would actually pay for these services, or how many would not pay for it? The main reasons why or why not? For your services, basically they have to buy materials, contract you, and you'll provide the means and they'll build the biogas plants, right? So we're able to do a preliminary survey just to find out of X number of families, how many would actually sign up for this.
I'm not so sure if they are going to exactly implement what they say. When we talk to them, they say that, yeah, these are the benefits. They seem that they get more aware. They have, when we give them information, they seem to realize. But in terms of putting money on the table, I'm not so sure all of them will do it, but still they recognize what they're trying to say.
Okay, and the time is up. Thank you very much, judges, and Indan. You've done great. Thank you